did want to start this podcast. I'm sure a lot of people saw this last night, or I should say yesterday. Now, this is a host in New York, and I just want to reference this by saying he's not a New York Knicks fan. He does cover a majority of New York sports, but this is what he had to say about the Detroit Pistons, and then I want us to react to it because I got a kick out of it.
It's not that they suck. It's that I don't buy their record and say, wow, they're 21-5. They're a powerhouse. They're a nice, good little basketball team. And I think they need another lesson before they get to the next level. Like last year, their lesson was losing to the Knicks in the first round. I don't know if they're ready to take the jump and knock the Knicks off and get to an NBA Finals. That's just me.
Look, I know Siakam.
And one last thing. Yeah. I don't trust J.B. Bickerstaff in a big spot.
That's fine, too. But I was just going to say, I understand that Siakam had championship pedigree and Halliburton was a good player, although he had some of those games where he just didn't score. I mean, who really felt that way about the Pacers the last couple of years?
I think the Pacers played a brand of basketball that was very difficult for the Knicks to match up on. Like, I thought that their pace, no pun intended, made it a real challenge for them. I don't see that with Detroit.
Okay.
And I think what you're doing, and I respect it, is you're holding out hope as a hater. And trust me, I'd love to hold out hope. I'm just being honest with what I think about this basketball team. They're a good little team. They are not a major threat to the New York Knicks. And if you want to save that audio and use it against me, cool. I'm not scared.
So that was Evan Roberts, who does host a radio show for SNY New York. Now, listen, man. Like everyone is entitled to their opinions, but like, I honestly laughed out loud when I saw that. What's your reaction when you hear a radio host say that the Pistons have a good little team and they're not really a threat when they're the number one seed in the Eastern Conference right now?
Look, I understand the shots people want to take at JB Bickerstaff because until you get it done, you haven't gotten it done. It's almost a Jared Goff conversation. So I can understand it, though I disagree with it. He's a coach's coach. This is a situation where he leaves a place where they say it was all him, and you see Cleveland is still trying to figure things out. So there's some things that aren't quite right with that statement, but I'll let that be. The components as it relates to the Pistons, can they make this jump? We just saw the Pistons win 31 games over 2 years, and they make that historic jump. They didn't even just land in the play-in. They literally peaked at 5th seed last year. And then they decided, well, it was like 4th seed. I think they might have peaked at, but 5th seed. And they decided, maybe it'd be better for us to play the matchup game. You know, they got Cade Cunningham, a little bit of low management towards the end of the season. They brought in Dennis Schroeder, and, you know, the rest was history. They got the matchup they wanted. And realistically, we talked about it already, a blown call probably, and mixed in with 2 absolute collapses at home by the Pistons, or one on the road, one at home by the Pistons. This thing was supposed to go to Game 7. No Isaiah Stewart either in that playoff series. The Pistons had owned the New York Knicks and Cade Cunningham, Madison Square Garden last year. I think Cade won 4 times at Madison Square Garden last year, 2 times in the regular season and 2 times in the playoffs. You can't talk to me about not being ready. Your home arena doesn't even do anything to the Pistons star. And that was when they had 1. Now you're talking about that star going to superstar and Jalen Duren becoming a star, and they still have the ability to go out there and make moves. But even as currently constructed, I believe what we're seeing is real because of these certain components. You look at the record against teams above 500, the Pistons are, I believe, 10-3. One of the best teams in the league at that stat. You look at defensive rating, 2nd. You look at points in the paint. They're, I believe, the top team. You look at the pick and roll efficiency, pick and roll points, lob connections. They're one of the top teams. So not only are they doing the things that were part of the foundation that helped them win and make this historic jump, this leap last year, but they've even added on to that now. That, to me, is what makes them very, very formidable in this East. They can lock up with anybody. People are starting to highlight even who's talking about, man, Jaden Ivey's defense like that. Even him in his limited minutes. It's like, oh, we see improvements. This team has improved across the board defensively, physicality, and that, to me, is what's underpinning the 21-6 mixed with superstar power. That's not going away anytime soon. Like, when the playoffs start, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are going to have to face the East's best defensive team. It's not like, how does it get easier facing a team that's going to defend you less? How does it get easier facing a team that doesn't have Cade Cunningham on it? How does it get easier facing a team in which Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are going to work Karl Anthony Towns all game? And if there is any foul trouble, Paul Reed will come in there and side shot you to death. Like, it just is what it is. So I don't know. Like, when people say that, I just take it as it's until they do it, they're never going to give them that due, even though we kind of, sit here and see the squad and see the makeup, see the pedigree, getting into the numbers. Because even me, I asked the question on one of the pods are they a legit number one seed? And when you peel back the layers, you start to realize nobody's defending like them in this conference. Nobody. And that matters.
Yeah, like I did add context. I see someone saying, hello, Knicks fan here. Two things. One, Evan Roberts is a Nets fan. I did clarify that when we did play the clip. But here's the thing. Whether he's a Nets fan, Knicks fan, Philly fan, I really don't care. Like, the way that I took that comment is I look at the New York Knicks expectations and the Detroit Pistons expectations. I think both of them are in different spots. And I'm just talking in terms of organization. I'm not talking about fan bases. I think most fan bases want to win a championship. I think expectations with organizations, I think the Knicks, where they're at, the money that they're spending on their players, it's championship or bust for them because
100%.
they have a very expensive roster from Karl Anthony Towns to OG Anunoby to you just extended them to Mikal Bridges. Like, they have a very expensive roster and they're hoping to come out of the East and play in the NBA Finals. They were very close to beating.
Capital.
Yeah, they were very close to beating the Indiana Pacers in Eastern Conference Finals. So I understand from the Knicks fans' perspective of, you're not the number one seed in the East right now, and you're looking at a team in the Detroit Pistons that aren't in the apron. They have one player that's on a max contract deal, and then they have a bunch of young guys that are on rookie contracts still, but that won't be the thing. From years on, like, Jalen Duren is extension eligible, Jaden Ivey is extension eligible. Like, the Pistons are going to have to pay their players too. But the way I look at it is the Knicks and their fan base, they know like their window isn't as open and they won't have as much time to keep this core together as the Pistons currently could, just because of the way the CBA is, the aprons. We've seen how many owners just freak out with the aprons. I mean, the Celtics traded away Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday because they didn't want to go into the tax, right? So I think New York's window is a lot. It's more condensed than the Pistons is. Like, the Pistons did a very good job of playing the Knicks in the first round. And the Knicks even credited the Pistons for their toughness. It prepared them for Boston the way they played. To say that they're a nice little team and kind of just like take out that was a 6-game series, could have been a 7-game series, depending if, the foul on, THJ actually went. You would have a 7-game
toughness without Stu in the series.
Yeah. I mean, I think both things can be true. The Knicks are a good basketball team and the Pistons are a good basketball team. You don't have to put one down to uplift the other, in my opinion. I mean, to me, I think the Pistons and the Knicks are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference right now. Cleveland has injuries. Orlando has injuries, but Orlando's a good team when healthy. Boston, obviously, with no Tatum. Boston is still a good team, but it's the Knicks and the Pistons right now. Like, those are the two teams that'll probably come out of the East.
You don't believe in Scotty Barnes?
I mean, the Raptors were rolling, but once they lost RJ Barrett, they kind of came back down to reality. But I think it's the Knicks and the Pistons though. Like, right now, like, those are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. But like, I heard that, and that guy's a Nets fan, obviously, which is even more hilarious listening to that. Like, you're a Nets fan, like, you just drafted 5 guards and you're talking about the Pistons. I get you do a New York sports radio show, but man, I just found it hilarious to listen to.